Presentation, I'll discuss the requirements to earn a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology. Before we get started, here is an overview of the BA degree in psychology. So you can download this figure here by using this link, or it's also on the psychology department advising website for you to refer to. So in this presentation, I'm going to go through all of the course requirements to earn a BA in psychology. So if you just look quickly at this figure, you can see that our psychology major is made up of lower division classes up here, and then also upper division courses down here. Okay. Also, there is a lower division major support course to biology course, and you're also required to complete 3 psychology electives. So that's kind of the general overview of the major. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to talk more specifically about each of the major components to the degree. So let's first start with the major preparation course. That course is Bio 21, Human Biology, or Bio 65, Anatomy and Physiology with a lab. Okay, so all of our majors are required to take either Bio 21 or Bio 65 with a lab at San Jose State. Now, because it is a lower division course, you're able to take either of those 2 courses at a community college and then transfer that class to San Jose State. So once you've completed the course and your final course grade is posted, then you want to make sure to send your transcript from your community college to San Jose State so that we can give you credit for completing that class. If you do decide to take either one of those courses at a community college, please make sure that the course that you're taking is equivalent to either Bio 21 or Bio 65 at San Jose State, and it also needs to have a laboratory portion of the course. So you need to sign up for both the lecture and the lab portions. Okay? Now, one thing to also keep in mind is that you may have taken a biology course already that fulfills a lower division GE requirement, but the only biology classes that will fulfill this major requirement are human biology or anatomy and physiology with a lab. So if you have not yet taken either of those, you still have to take it in order to fulfill this major requirement. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, you can ask or contact one of the psychology advisors or talk to an advisor in the Access Center, and they could answer any other questions you might have about that. Okay, but just make sure that the biology course that you're taking is either human biology or anatomy and physiology with a lab. Okay, so that's the major preparation course. Now, the major requirements are made up of 3 components, all right? So we have a lower division core courses, upper division core courses, and then psychology electives. So if you go back to the figure, the lower division core are the courses that are marked in blue on the figure that I showed you earlier. The upper division core courses are the ones in the green boxes on the figure, and the psychology electives are the ones in the blue, light blue. Okay, so if we go back to the figure here, you can see how they're all color-coded. That's the biology major preparation course. It's lower division. These are the lower division core courses. And then down below are the upper division courses. So these are the courses that you must take, okay? And you have to choose from the courses that are in these boxes. And then your psychology electives in the light blue box here, those are more flexible, so you have more choice in the courses that you take for your electives. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to talk more specifically about each of these components so that I can give you a little bit more detail and explain what the prerequisites are and in what sequence you should take things, etc. So let's start with the lower division core courses. So again, those are the courses that are in the blue boxes on the figure that I showed you above. Okay? So there are 4 lower division courses in addition to the major support biology course, right? So the lower division core consists of Psych 1, Introduction to Psychology, Stat 95, which is elementary statistics, Psych 18, Introduction to Research Methods, and then Psych 30, which is introductory psychobiology. Okay. Now, for a full description of all of our psychology courses, please go to the Psych Department catalog page. Here you'll find a list of all of our psychology courses and a description for each of the classes. So you can get a little bit more detail in terms of what the content of each class will be. Okay. Now, Psych 1 is the General Introduction to Psychology course. It's also a lower division GE course, and it's a prerequisite for most of our upper division psychology classes. So once you've taken Psych 1, then you can enroll in many of our upper division psychology classes. Okay, so Psych 1 is going to be a high priority for you to take as early as you can in your academic career. Okay, now in addition to Psych 1, we ask that all of our majors take Stat 95, which is elementary stats. Okay, again, Stat 95 is a lower division GE course as well, so that will also fulfill a GE requirement. You need to complete Stat 95 in order for you to enroll in Psych 18, which is our Intro to Research Methods class. All right, so we have a lower division research methods course, and then you'll see later on there is a upper division advanced research methods class. Okay, so in order to enroll in Psych 18, you have to have completed both Psych 1 and Stat 95. Okay, so Psych 1 and Stat 95 are important lower division courses. You want to take those as soon as you can, as well as the Bio 21 or 65. Okay, the reason I say the biology class is high priority is because it is a prerequisite for our last lower division course, which is Psych 30. So that's our introductory course in psychobiology. So in order to enroll in Psych 30, you have to have already completed either Bio 21 or Bio 65. Okay, so in planning your course schedules, these lower division core courses as well as the biology course are high priorities, right? You want to try to finish these as soon as you can, because again, there are prerequisites for other courses that you're required to take. Okay, so those are the lower division courses. And again, because they're lower division, that means they're courses that are numbered below 100. You may take any of these at a community college and transfer them into San Jose State. Just want to make sure that you send your transcripts from your community college showing that you've completed and earned passing grades in these classes. You want to send your official transcripts to San Jose State so that you could get credit for completing those requirements. Okay, so those are the lower division classes, right? So the blue classes that are marked in the figure, and also the major support course Biology 21 or 65. Okay. Now let's talk about the upper division core. Okay, so if we go back to the figure again, what I'm going to focus on now is discussing these three courses that are marked in these green boxes here. All of our psychology majors are required to take these specific three classes. Okay, so I'm going to talk in a little bit more detail about them because there are several prerequisites that you need to meet in order for you to enroll in these required courses. All right, so these are upper division classes. Upper division means that they are courses that are numbered 100 and above. Okay, so lower division are courses numbered below 100. Upper division are courses numbered 100 and above. Okay, so these are the three upper division core courses that are required for all of our psychology majors. So the first one that you should take is Psych 100W, which is our writing workshop. Okay. Now, there are a lot of prerequisites in order for you to enroll in 100W. One of the prerequisites is that you first have to take the upper division writing directed self-placement assessment. So here's a link to that assessment. Basically, it's a tool that the university uses to help students decide if they're ready to take the 100W or not. Okay, so if you click on that link here, you can go to the website and read the details about that. But once you've taken the self-placement and it shows that you're ready to complete 100W, then that's when you want to enroll in it. Okay, now before you can enroll in it, you also have to have completed Psych 1, Stat 95, and the lower division GE core courses. Okay, so the lower division GE courses are, areas A, B, C, etc. So all of your lower division GE core courses must be complete. You have to have finished Psych 1 and Stat 95. Usually all of this happens around your junior year, okay, your third year. Once you've completed all of your core GE requirements and you've taken the directed self-placement assessment, then you should be ready to enroll in Psych 100W. Okay? Now, Psych 100W, not only is it a psychology major requirement, but it is a university requirement. So you have to pass Psych 100W with a C grade or better. Okay, so in order for it to count to satisfy your graduation writing requirement, you have to pass Psych 100W with a C or better. Okay, so that's the first class that you want to take out of the three required upper division psychology courses. Okay, once you've taken Psych 100W, then the next semester you're ready to enroll in our Advanced Research Methods course. So either Psych 118 or 120. Okay, those are our Advanced Research Methods classes that all of our majors are required to take. So again, there are many prerequisites for you to enroll in Psych 118. So you have to have all of your lower division GE core courses completed. You have to have completed Psych 1, Stat 95, Psych 18, which is the Introduction to Research Methods course, the lower division course that we talked about earlier, and Psych 100W with a C or better. Okay, so you're not able to enroll in Psych 118 until you have completed Psych 100W. Okay, so you're going to take 100W first, and then the next semester Psych 118, and then the next semester after that, you should be ready to enroll in your capstone course. Most psychology majors take Psych 190, which is the current issues capstone. Here are the prerequisites for enrolling in Psych 190, right? You have to have completed Psych 100W, Psych 118 or 120, and you have to have senior standing. So the capstone class is one of the final courses that you'll take during your time here at San Jose State. Okay, it's typically taken during student senior year. Now, if you're on the honors track, if you meet the criteria to earn honors in psychology, then instead of taking the 190 course, then you would be taking the Psych 195 class, which is the honors seminar. Okay, so here are some of the prerequisites to take the Psych 195 class. You can read more about what the criteria are for earning honors in psychology on our psychology advising page. Okay, so again, these are the 3 required upper division core courses. Make sure that you take them in this order. Okay, 100W first, then 118, and then your capstone. All right, so that's the discussion of these 3 courses that are in the upper division core of the major. Now I'm going to switch and talk about the other upper division core courses. Here you have a little bit more flexibility in the courses that you take because we give you options of classes to choose from. So let's talk about these upper division courses next. Okay, so one thing to note is that most of the prerequisites for many of these upper division core courses is Psych 1. Okay, so as I said earlier, once you've completed Psych 1, then you're able to enroll in many of our upper division psychology classes. Okay, so in these core courses, we're wanting our students to have a class within each of the major topic areas of psychology. Okay, so for instance, one of the topic areas that we'd like you to learn about is the area of developmental psychology. So we're asking you to choose one class out of these 3 to fulfill this requirement. So Psych 102 is the Psych of Childhood, Psych 112 is the Psych of Adolescence, and Psych 114 is the Psychology of Aging. All right, so each of the classes focuses on a different level of development in humans, right? So one focuses on childhood, one focuses on adolescence, one focuses on aging. Pick any one of these 3 classes to fulfill this particular developmental requirement. Okay. Another topic area that we'd like you to know about is the area of psychopathology. So in this box, you have a choice between 2 courses. So Psych 110 is adult psychopathology, and then Psych 142 is child psychopathology. So pick one of those 2. Okay. Again, you can read more about the course descriptions of all of our classes in our psychology catalog page. Now, there are other topic areas as well that we'd like you to learn about. So we'd like you to have a course in the area of social or personality psychology. So we're asking you to choose between Psych 139, which is the psychology of personality, or Psych 154, which is social psychology. Now in this box, it's called the cognition, brain, and behavior area. We'd like our students to choose 2 courses from this box. So we're giving you choices between Psych 129, neuroscience, Psych 135, cognition, 155, human learning, or 158, which is perception. So again, you need to take 2 courses from this area. For these 3 classes here, the only prerequisite is Psych 1, but for neuroscience, the prerequisite is Psych 30, which is the Introduction to Psychobiology course, and 3 units of biology, which is typically the human biology or anatomy course, or you can have 9 units of biology, right? So this neuroscience course is very much a physiology course, right? Talks a lot about biology. So we want to make sure that students who take neuroscience have a good foundation of that knowledge. Okay? So again, 2 courses from this area, and then we also have you take a more advanced assessment class. So we're giving you the choice of taking either Psych 117, which is psychology tests and measures, or intermediate statistics, or Stat 115. Okay, so for the assessment courses, the upper division assessment courses, the prerequisite to enroll in these courses is completion of Stat 95. So you should have a basic foundation of elementary statistics before you enroll in either 117 or Stat 115. Okay? All right, so that kind of completes the discussion of these green boxes here. So the only thing that we have left to discuss in this overview are the psychology electives. So again, these electives are represented here in this light blue box. All right, so for the major, we require students to complete 3 courses to be used as electives within the psychology major. Now, what is an elective? Well, basically, you can think of a psychology elective as any psychology course that you have not used to fulfill other major requirements, right? And other relevant classes that I'll talk about later. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, here's an example. Okay, so let's say that in the social/personality bin, you decided to take social psychology 154 to fulfill that requirement. Okay, well, there is another class in that bin, personality psychology, that you can take to fulfill the psychology elective requirement. Okay, so if you really enjoyed the social psychology class and you want to check out the other class in that bin that you didn't take to fulfill the requirement, then that class can be used as a psychology elective. Okay, let me give you another example. So let's go to this bin here. So here, remember I said that within the cognition, brain, and behavior bin, we're asking you to complete 2 courses. Okay, so let's just say that you decided that you wanted to take cognition and human learning to fulfill this particular requirement. Okay, well, if again, now you have the choice of taking either 129 neuroscience or 158 perception as a psychology elective. So you can take one or the other or both. All right, so just as long as you did not use the class to fulfill one of these requirements, any other psychology course that you enroll in could be used as a psychology elective. Okay, so that's what I mean by this point here, right? A psychology elective is any psych course that you haven't used to fulfill other major requirements, as well as other courses that I'll talk about in a bit. Okay. Now, when you're choosing your psychology electives, there are a number of ways to fulfill this requirement. One way is to use one lower division psych course and two upper division psych classes. That's a total of 3 psych classes that will fulfill your elective requirement. This is an option typically used by students who have attended community college before they came to San Jose State. So if you're a student who went to community college, you took a lot of psychology classes at your junior college, just as long as the course is different from Psych 1, Stat 95, Psych 18, or Psych 30. Say you took a course at your community college, for instance, on like mental health. So that course, since it comes from a community college, is considered a lower division course in psychology. We can use that to fulfill one of your psychology elective requirements. If you take that route, then the other 2 electives that you complete have to be upper division psych classes. Okay, upper division again are courses that are numbered 100 and above. Okay. Or another way to complete the psychology elective requirement is just to simply take any 3 upper division psych classes. Again, any 3 psych classes that are upper division that have not been used to fulfill other major requirements. All right, so those are the 2 options of how you can complete your psychology elective requirement. Also, one of the things that I wanted to point out about the psychology electives is that, you have flexibility on what 3 psych courses you want to take to fulfill the elective requirement. But another thing that you might want to consider is maybe focusing on a particular area of psychology that you may be interested in when you're choosing your elective courses. So for instance, many of our psych majors are interested in the area of clinical or counseling psychology, right? Maybe their career goal is to become a therapist or a counselor, or they have a goal of applying to graduate programs in clinical or counseling psychology. If that is you, then one of the things that you might want to consider is to choose courses that are relevant to that particular area that you're interested in. Okay, so I've listed some relevant clinical and counseling courses that you might consider if this is what your focus is. So like Psych 110, 126, neuroscience, etc. Okay, the courses that I have starred here: adult psychopathology, Psych 160 is clinical psychology, Psych 165 is theories and methods of counseling. Those 3 courses are typically required from students who are considering applying to graduate programs in clinical or counseling psychology. So when you're choosing your electives and you have that goal in mind, maybe those are the courses that you might want to choose so that you can fulfill the psychology elective requirement, but also it will take care of you completing some required classes that many graduate programs in clinical and counseling require. Okay, you can do that for almost any area of psychology that you may be interested in. Right, so we have classes, for instance, in the area of industrial organizational psychology. So if you're not familiar with that, it's an area of psychology that's a combination of social psychology and business. So if you're interested in working in the business field or in organizations or human resources, you might check into some of our courses that are focused towards industrial organizational psychology and use those courses to fulfill your electives. So again, it's just basically up to you about how you want to use those psychology electives. They can be used to focus on an area that you're interested in, or they can just be any 3 psychology classes that you find interesting or that you may want to learn more about. Okay, so I've listed here other psychology electives that might be interesting to you all, right? So you can see some of the course titles here. So for example, there's an engineering class that teaches students about programming for the behavioral and social sciences. So that's an interesting course. Teaches you about how to use certain kinds of computer applications and programming that would help you if you're interested in finding a job in technology. Here's a sports psychology class that's really interesting. There's a course on drugs, brain and behavior, political psychology. And then for Psych 191, I'd like to highlight that as a possible psychology elective for students. Psych 191 is the psychology of prejudice. And what's interesting about that class is not only can it fulfill a psychology elective requirement, but that class also fulfills an upper division GE requirement. Okay, so area S of SJSU studies more specifically. So if you take Psych 191, the psychology of prejudice, it can fulfill an elective requirement within the major, but it can also fulfill the SJSU studies area S requirement. So you're going to fulfill 2 requirements with just that one class. Okay? Again, you know, for a complete list of our psychology courses and the descriptions for those courses, please visit our catalog page and you'll find all of that information there. All right, so before I wrap things up, just some important points that I want to stress to you all. So basically what I'm presenting to you here in this video is a general guide to the psychology major that we began in fall of 2019. So this is the current version of our psychology Bachelor of Arts degree. Okay. Now it's important for you to read the information on our psychology department advising website to get more detailed information and or meet with a psychology advisor if you need additional guidance or you have other questions. Okay? I've already told you about consulting the course catalog. And then this is a very important point. I hope I stressed it before, but I'll emphasize it again here. We strongly recommend that the 3 required upper division psychology courses of Psych 100W, Psych 118, and Psych 190 be taken in different semesters and in that specific order. Okay, so I know it's difficult sometimes to do this, especially the order part. But ideally, that's the order that you should be taking these courses, right? So first 100W, and then 118, and then lastly 190. Okay? Now, again, there is flexibility in when you take these upper division courses, but if you have any additional questions or you'd like more guidance, please see one of the psychology advisors and we can help you with that. Also, on our psychology advising page, there are a number of resources that we provide students to help you to put together your course schedules and to give you suggestions about the order in which you should be taking things. So please check that out. I think the information, the resources that we have there are very helpful. Now, if you do need to contact an advisor, who do you contact? Okay, well, here are the names of all of the psychology major advisors. There's Dr. Freeland, Dr. Hosoda, Dr. Van Sels, and myself. I'm Dr. Asuncion. all of our advising hours vary by semester. So our advising hours will change every semester. So in order for you to know what our current advising availability is, please go to our advising website, scroll down that page, and you can see what our advising hours are. Okay. Now, there are 3 ways to get advising within our department. The first way is to simply email any questions that you might have to our advising email address. Okay, now we ask students not to contact the advisors directly. So for instance, if you are a student of mine and you're in one of my classes, please don't email me at my personal email address if you have advising questions. Please send any advising questions to this email address. Okay. If you do want to email a specific advisor, then please put the name of that advisor in the subject line, and it also helps to put the topic of your email there as well, so we can anticipate what you're wondering about. Now, we try our best to respond to your emails as soon as we can, but if you haven't received a reply within 3 to 5 days, please send us a polite follow-up and we'll get to you as soon as we can. Along with emailing the advising address, another way to get advising is to schedule an appointment. Okay, so we have appointments available via Zoom, online, or in person as well. Okay, so again, if you scroll down the advising website, you see the names of the advisors. You can use the link next to their name to make an appointment. Okay? When you click on the link, it's going to take you to Spartan Connect. All of the appointments are made through Spartan Connect. If you're not familiar with how to do that, here is a link to how to make appointments within Spartan Connect. Now, unfortunately, the advisors don't have the ability to schedule appointments for students. So it's your responsibility to schedule your appointment, okay? So please, if you're not able to do that or you don't know how to do that, please go to this link and it will show you the process. When you are making an appointment through Spartan Connect, please state the reason for your appointment in the comments box. That just helps us to anticipate what resources or what information we can provide to you when we meet you for your appointment. Okay, so please use that comments box to let us know, why are you scheduling this appointment? And then the third way to contact or meet with an advisor is to simply drop in during our Zoom online drop-in hours or our in-person drop-in hours. Okay, so each of us tries to have drop-in hours during the week. So please just drop in during the time and day when it's convenient for you. The only thing I want you guys to realize is that there may be some times where we're unable to speak to everyone who drops in. And that's because during certain times of the semester, it gets very busy and everybody decides to come in all at the same time. So if you're able to schedule an appointment, that's the best way to guarantee that you'll be able to speak to an advisor. Okay, so this is probably the most preferred, to schedule an appointment. If our appointment times don't work, then you could either drop in or email us your questions and we'll get back to you as soon as we're able. Okay, so I think that's the end of our presentation. I hope you found the information useful and hopefully I answered many questions that you might have had about our major in psychology and earning a bachelor's in psychology. Again, here's the overview of the degree for your reference. You can find it also on the advising website should you want to download it for your own use. Okay, so I hope You guys have a good rest of your day.